So we're doing this live, right? After we just, did the whole mom thing. We're doing this live
Yeah.
because I actually put a post a couple weeks back about how heating pad is really good for like your periods and pain in general. And then you made a comment that like totally like I was like, wow, what is that? And you said something about having a cold womb. So I really wanted to like dive into that and see like, wow, what is cold womb? How do
Hmm.
we know we have it? What can we do? This is something new to me.
Right.
So I'm gonna be like my student ear.
Just like,
Yeah,
yeah.
like open my brain up. Let me know. Like, how did you know? I guess what is cold womb and how did you know you had it? I guess we'll start from there.
Okay. So cold womb is basically where it's what it sounds like, but the term is traditionally rooted in traditional Chinese medicine, and it's basically having like low circulation to your uterus.
Wow.
And so, yeah, because of that, your blood supply isn't flowing properly. You're not getting the proper nutrients to your womb, and it can manifest in different ways, such as painful periods, painful cramps, um, feeling cold during your moon time, as well as, oh yeah, clots. That's also an indication. So, like if you're experiencing a lot of clots or blood looks thick, clumpy, typically it's because you have cold womb. You don't have enough circulation moving through your womb space.
Uh, it's so crazy because I feel like so many people have this, like have this
Hmm.
idea. The feeling cold during like when you're on your cycle, like that's something I hear all the time, and me too. Like I saw,
Hmm.
so that's very interesting. How did you know? Like, how was it? How did you come to find this out?
So what's interesting is I think that just along the lines of the old wives' tales being passed down, I think people know, like they'll hear the remedy for a thing, but they don't understand why they say to do a thing. So I know typically we hear ginger tea is good for our moons,
Right.
right? But ginger tea is warming. So although it's anti-inflammatory and it helps with, yeah, inflammation and pain a bit, it's also a warming tea.
Okay.
So it's the thing that we go to. So, people be like, yeah, get you some ginger tea for your cramp.
I
But
know. Wow.
that stems from traditional Chinese medicine as being one of the remedies for having a cold womb.
Is it only like, does it come from Chinese medicine or do we see it in like other cultures too? Have you seen it like in other cultures?
I think so. The reason I say that is because my mom, like, we were like basically Geechee Gullah.
Okay.
And so my mom would always say, and my aunt as well, like your feet, the reason why you're cramping is because you don't keep anything on your feet.
Oh my God.
And cold womb equals cold feet equals cold
What?
womb. And so,
That? I
and I know like Caribbean households
Yes.
and stuff,
Those
they'll
thoughts
tell
of
you that,
me.
right? Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
that lets me know, okay, this isn't just rooted in traditional Chinese medicine. There's some wisdom behind
Yeah. Now I'm like,
this.
I want to dive how the feet is connected to the womb. Like now I'm like, because I've always heard
Right?
don't walk around in the house barefoot. Cover your feet.
Hmm.
Pregnant, my mom was like, you have to put socks on, and I'm like, it's just my feet. Like
Hmm.
that's so crazy. Wow, it's always been with us. Like this is stuff we've heard, but maybe never really dived into it.
Right.
So,
And
go ahead.
and also, yeah, so we typically lose a lot of our heat through our feet, and that is why. That's why, like even when I was trained in doing the yoni steam, we we're trained to tell like the clients to wear socks or have socks on hand because apparently we lose a lot of our heat through our feet.
My
And
God.
and I learned with working with she's an African holistic doctor, but she's kind of rooted in Ayurveda that apparently we lose a lot of heat through our belly button as well, and that contributes to cold
No
womb.
way.
Mhm. So she would tell me all the time, like you always have your midriff showing, you always have your belly out, you losing a lot of your heat through
Wow.
your belly,
Oh my good.
like through your belly button.
I want to say to Botanica, I am Botanica. She said, "Here I am pregnant with no socks on the feet."
Girl, go
and,
put some socks on.
and congratulations on your pregnancy.
Yeah.
um, so I have here like I sent you like the question sheets, but
Hmm.
I guess cold womb is not something that you'll hear like traditional doctors like say, you know, like you would never, like, I don't think I would ever hear like my OBGYN say, you have cold womb and this is what you do. Like, this is definitely something that is like holistic,
Right.
like, right? So, okay.
Hmm.
So, drinking,
But the way that
mhm.
they would put it, they wouldn't say you have cold womb, but they might tell you that your body isn't responding well to what is it, progesterone?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah, they'll tell you that your body isn't responding well to that because that's actually a warming hormone.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it'll probably come up when you're struggling with infertility and you're trying to conceive.
That's what they test.
They may,
Mm,
yeah, they test the progesterone. So your progesterone may look low in numbers, or they may say that you're not producing enough. But that also contributes in Ayurveda as well as traditional Chinese medicine to having a cold womb because you don't have enough of your warming hormone warming the womb space. And how are you to hold life, give life,
right.
nurture life if you don't have enough oxygen circulating to your womb space and your womb isn't warm to even producing
Yeah.
a life?
So, you said drinking tea, specifically ginger, is
Mhm.
good. What else, like herbs and teas, do you recommend for especially us who are suffering with like cramps and stuff like that? Like, what kind of, just any tea to warm the womb, or like do you suggest anything in particular?
Well, there are herbs that warm drinks in general are helpful,
Mm,
but there are, of course, herbs that bring a little bit more heat to the
okay.
body, such as ginger. Cinnamon is good during moon time as well. In Ayurveda, they use, or just Indian culture in general, they drink a lot of fennel tea,
Oh
and that's
wow.
fennel, and it's really good. It's a warming herb, but it's also just really good for digestion. So they'll typically consume fennel after meals
Mhm.
because the womb, the uterus, the reproductive system is so close to the digestive system. Of course, we know that if we're not digesting properly, typically the digestive system the colon will start to like basically press on the uterus, which also contributes to low blood circulation.
Right.
So fennel tea is helpful. Rosemary is one of my
Yes.
favorites because yeah, it's a pain reliever, it's anti-inflammatory, and it's also warming to the body.
Okay.
So those are some good
Good
teas.
ones.
My favorite is just also for taste and for the richness and just the nourishing feeling of it is I like golden milk tea. I really like turmeric tea with ginger and
Never
cinnamon.
had that. I've heard this
Oh, it's
sounds
so good.
like a Pinterest junkie. So I was going down the Pinterest hole and I happened to come across a recipe and I said, you know what? This looks good.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I'll
I,
definitely try that.
I love it.
Really? Do you make it yourself?
I do.
Nice.
Yep. So I'll use
Okay.
coconut milk, some turmeric,
Okay.
um, a little bit of a little bit of black pepper to help activate the ingredients in turmeric, or I'll use cayenne.
Okay.
Cayenne is good too. That's a good one for warming up the womb, not just in tea form. Like I'll put a little bit of cayenne in my teas, but also on your food, just to bring a little bit more digestive fire.
Okay. Okay. And since we're talking about digestion, since you found out, like, since you realized that, like, you had cold, like, your womb was a little bit running cold, in the past, have you changed, like, anything about the way that you eat? Or is it
Yes, yes.
okay?
Yeah, so we talk about, of course, what we add in, but
Mm-hmm.
also it's important to bring awareness to what we're already doing, our lifestyle, And for me, I already, according to Ayurveda, like I already have a cold composition.
Okay.
So in Ayurveda, they talk about the different compositions, and you can have Pitta, Kapha, and then what's the other one? It's not coming to my
Okay.
mind at the moment,
Just,
but the different compositions. Yes,
okay.
three of them, and one is like you basically have excessive heat within the body or yang energy.
Wow.
um, the other, you may have a yang deficiency or energy deficiency, which you typically run cold.
Oh,
And so you require more nourishing foods. You might require more provisions and root vegetables and things to warm your body. And I typically have that. I have that makeup.
okay.
So so it's important for me to not actually eat a lot of raw foods. Um, Contrary to popular healthy belief, too many salads and cold fruits and even smoothies. And Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, they're not crazy about smoothies
Okay. Okay. Hi,
because of
welcome. And then
hi,
I didn't add that I missed. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Wow. So, and I heard
I don't know
raw
what
veg.
I just
Oh,
did.
you can't see me?
Yeah, I did, but it was me. I did something, and
Raw.
I'm afraid to press too
Oh,
many buttons.
yeah. And the left. Um,
Yeah,
Raw diets are really, really good right now, but you said in your circumstances, it's not good for you. So that's
yeah. To move more towards like soups and foods that are
more.
easier to digest or just yeah better for my composition.
Okay.
Because the body is working so hard to basically bring that food down to a certain temperature because, our wombs, our stomachs, our bodies have a specific like temperature that we try to stay at for equilibrium and balance.
Right.
And it just takes a lot of energy to cool that food
Oh,
down in order to properly digest it.
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And even, I guess, the temperature, even of your water, you have to be mindful of. You can't just like throw some ice in the water.
Right.
uh,
Which also we know that. We've heard that before. Like when we're on our moon, no ice cream, no cold drinks. They tell us that makes us cramp more.
right, right. Wow.
And it's
That,
because yeah, it's like these things we know.
it's literally been around us, but like the term itself, I have never heard of cold womb, right? So, wow.
Mhm.
But I know that no ice, like keep away from the cold. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
It's here. Like, yeah, it's like you already know what it
I
is.
know.
But
I
yeah, we don't hear the
know.
terms.
Botanica said, so instead of salads after the baby, have soups, they say. And I guess it's for that
Hmm.
reason. It's true. Like after I had my daughter, I was told, try to, take it easy and also drink a lot of soups to, replenish. And, I'm
Hmm.
Caribbean. It, it was,
Hmm.
so,
Right.
yeah. Okay. And I had another question for you. Um, do you find that exercises and certain physical activities help to warm up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So, abdominal exercises, anything where, especially you're working the transverse or the lower abs,
Okay.
helps to bring circulation. Bridge pose, where you lay on your back and press your hips up.
You
Yeah, but not even that one, the one where you can have your hands down, but you're just lifting the hips, like you're
oh,
thrusting the hips up.
yes.
Yep, that one's also helpful for circulation. Hooping is really good as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was just about to get into that because now
Oh,
it's
okay.
time to get my body back after this baby.
Yeah.
I have I have a little diet diastasis recti right now, where my abdomen
Mm-hmm.
separated. But I heard like hula hooping is pretty okay for that. I know there's certain exercises that I can do and other exercises that if I do will make it worse. So
Mm-hmm.
hula, those things that I was like, you know what? That would be fun. I could put music
Mm-hmm.
on, just move, move my
Yeah, and
hips.
there are a lot of exercises that will help close it as
I
well.
follow this lady named Mom. I think her name is Mommy Mango here on.
Okay.
She's amazing with that. She wears. You probably seen her. She wears like the muscle outfit. Like it looks like a body, but like all muscle tissues. It's
Oh, I haven't
yeah.
seen. I have to follow
And she
her. Please
funny
send the page after we get off.
visually show like how the muscles made up in the body and how diastasis like come makes the abs like, and she does only
Mm-hmm.
exercise target that area and to try to close it back and also to gain strength in that area. So there's time for
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Yeah. And then of course belly dancing. I gotta plug it
Oh,
in there. But
oh,
yes.
belly dancing. Like I want to do it.
Belly dancing is really good for helping with cold wound,
Okay.
bringing more circulation, more intention, more breath to the area, as well as just bringing more oxygen to those muscles in those areas.
Okay.
You know, if you said you love belly dancing, have you taken a class or taken classes?
Just when I was younger, like a teenager in school,
Okay,
belly dance
okay.
gym, and
You
I love.
were belly dancing in school?
We had a good school. I had a good school district. We had you can take instead of like your traditional gym class, you could opt for something else. You can opt for dance. You can opt for anything, anything.
Oh
Back when
wow.
I love, I'm a dancer, so I love to dance. So any dance, I was just like that one, that one, that one. So I did dance,
Hmm.
and then there was a belly dancing segment of it, like
Oh
where
wow.
I got to do it for the first time. I loved it. I loved it. It didn't go in depth because it was just school and it was just gym class, but for that,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's something I
Mm.
felt super. Even now thinking back, I'm like I feel like super girly, like doing that, like shaking these hips.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds amazing. That y'all even had that option in school.
Yeah, they should have it definitely. It was fun. I had a good time. And for our daughters and our young women that are coming up, is there anything that they can do to maybe the ones that are coming up, like that are just going into womanhood, is there anything they could do to almost like prevent this from happening to them, the cold womb, or is it
Mm.
our our body's makeup?
I think it's really starts with the
Okay.
lifestyle. So kind of like how our moms tried to tell us coming up, like keep the socks on your feet and keep your belly button covered up. You don't have to wear out all the time, even though it's a thing. And I'm for the crop tops, and I'm a belly dancer, so my belly's always out. But just being like letting them know, educating them about maybe not eating their food room temperature, drinking their water room temperature, just going ahead and educate them early on different ways of, you
Yeah.
know, helping with the digestion before we even get to that place.
Nice. Hi Hershey. Hi AI. AI Sco. Well,
Peace, peace, peace. But
okay.
also, another way to tell, because I did discuss how it manifests, like we know through the cramps and things. But you can actually, rub your hands together, let your hands warm because most time my hands are cold right now.
Always.
But warm them up and you can lay back and start to place your hands on your wound and
Uh,
start to feel around and connect with the
okay.
temperature and just take note of what areas are colder than others
Okay.
because typically the area, our lower abs, closer to the yoni space, like that's actually supposed to be warmer than up here. But
Right.
for a lot of us, it's not. It's actually a little bit colder. And I have a C-section scar, and that just adds a whole nother level to it because, you know, I have to massage to try to soften up the tissues in that area. I'm definitely not getting enough blood circulation to the area, and that's why I was able to resonate with the post where you said about the
Uh,
yeah,
hey,
about
yeah,
the heating pad.
okay.
But you can start to just feel certain areas where in your just abdominal
Mm,
region, there's like a whole Chinese practice dedicated to this. I think it's called like Chi Mate
yeah,
Song,
yeah.
and it's focused on just massaging the womb and massaging the belly button
Definitely
to just to bring
looking that up because
yeah.
any massage is good. But I can imagine
Mhm.
that area itself, since especially like us who have had pregnancies or have painful cramps or just have trouble in general with our wombs, just that massage
Mhm.
is so comforting and so like warming and you know
Mhm.
feel really good. So I'm definitely
Yeah.
yeah.
So much. Yep. So massaging the womb area, feeling which areas are less cold, but also being aware of the areas that feel extremely hot, that are close to the areas that are extremely cold, because typically there are blockages in those areas. That's where all of the inflammation and the heat and everything is building up, and it's not allowing circulation to the colder areas.
I wonder, because when I was going, okay, so for you guys who just joined, I have a 10-month-old baby. So when I was going through the pregnancy, they also let me know about my fibroids that I have. So I'm
Mm,
wondering, the sometimes it could be a worry in pregnancy because the fibroids also like taking blood from your uterus.
yes,
It's like
yes.
feeding yourself with the blood of your uterus, but also your baby, when you're pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
that blood. So sometimes it could be
Right,
between the baby and the fibroids fighting for.
right.
So I'm
Life.
wondering, even on the outside, if we're able to just feel those warm areas and those cold, like you said, you can feel cold and warm, but I'm wondering if those super hot areas can be an indication of, like you said blockages. And I'm wondering if
Mm-hmm.
those fibroids, like,
Mm-hmm.
these last few pregnancies that I've had, I can't believe how in tune with my body that I am now. I mean, I found
Mm.
first time in my life, and I've had two pregnancies. I have two children. For the first time in my life, these last 2 years with these pregnancies, I felt implantation.
Mm.
I felt ovulation. Those are things I've never felt before, like in my younger days. But like
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm just like, wow, like I feel like I'm just rediscovering who I am. So like,
I love that.
yeah, like yeah,
I love that.
yeah, it's really amazing. So even just learning every day we learn, and I'm loving just all of this information that I'm getting and just being aware of it. So
Mm-hmm. And so, and you spoke to the fibroid. So what came up in my mind, which could also be helpful for cold wound, but also be really helpful for those fibroids is, do you do castor oil massages?
I have castor oil in my closet, but I don't do massage
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, so castor oil is really good for bringing like
Okay.
circulation back to the body. Our skin absorbs it really well. It helps to break up excess mucus and just break down like, the things that aren't supposed to be there, impurities, and help the body to push them out. So you can actually start to do your womb massages with your
So,
castor oil.
so to do a wound massage
Mm-hmm.
with the castor oil, put some on my hand and just kind of like how would I do it? Like, is there a certain way to like?
Yes. So actually, you'd want to either warm up the castor oil, the bottle, in some hot water, or you want to rub it in your hands a little bit because, of course, we're trying to warm up the womb, so we don't want to put cold castor oil on our womb. Um, right, and then you just typically take your fingers and massage the womb and what is this?
Is it
Clockwise? Is
is
that kind of so
circular?
going up the right and then coming over, going down the left, and so you massage.
Sometimes.
My brain is like up the right, like right up, down
Ah,
left, right up,
okay,
down
okay.
left, and massaging that
Okay.
way. And you could just feel around, like I said, feel which areas are hotter, which areas are colder, and spend some time. And it's really also a really intuitive process and a way to connect with your woman, connect with your body,
That's
but
awesome.
to just feel where you're led to stop, like, ooh, I feel something there, even if it's just energetically, and taking the time to just work it out and
Right.
massage the areas. And but also you can just take the castor oil, put it all over your stomach, and do big
Ooh,
circles that way, right up, left, down.
okay.
And then from there you could take those little, I forgot the fabric, but the baby
Oh,
blanket.
oh, like the terry cloth?
Yeah, not the terry, it's not terry cloth, is it? Ah, my brain just went blank. But it's also used for those really ugly Christmas button down shirts too. Is it flannel? Maybe
Oh,
it's flannel.
yes. Flannel? Is
Yeah.
okay.
I think it is because they actually make those small baby blankets, the really thin ones,
Yeah.
is also that material. And you can rub the castor oil all over your
Okay.
womb space and then place one of those over it and put the heating pad
Oh,
and just sit there and allow your skin to absorb the castor
that
oil.
sounds good. That sounds
That's
really
actually a fibroid remedy. It helps to like break them down.
well. I'm gonna do that tonight.
Look, I keep my castor oil on my bed because I do it before I get out of
Stop
bed
it!
every morning. I don't play,
First of
okay?
all, she grabbed the castor oil.
Look, it's right here. I keep it because if I have to get up and get it, then I probably won't. Or by the
Dude,
time my feet hit the
no,
ground, I have a
no,
different
change
thought.
your thought process. I think I'm gonna move that castor oil right to the next to the bed because if it's someone, I'll be like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, you keep everything right there,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
you're just
No, I love.
you're more tempted to do
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty much all the questions that I really had. I feel like you answered everything
Okay.
so clear. I'm gonna do that castor oil thing tonight. Like I really am.
Yeah, and start to just add it into your
Yeah,
day, like make it a ritual, your morning ritual.
definitely. Okay. Is there anything
Yeah.
you want to add?
Mm, I don't have any questions. I don't know if anyone, and maybe in the comment section, if
Yeah,
anyone has any
I feel
questions.
like your community came out so much. Rivers
And
of
I
God.
appreciate y'all. Ooh.
Your community is on point. Yeah, for little alarms, the little alarms that come up on my phone, and then
Mm-hmm.
it pauses the live. But
So like
so the book
glitch.
that you had, I had a question for you. Is it a written book or a journaling book?
So it is a journaling book,
Okay,
but there are guided prompts.
okay.
Yeah. And the way that I wrote the book is so intentional. In the way that, like, that's why I call it, and I have that right here too, the journey of the
Oh
womb,
my
from
goodness.
darkness
So
to light.
I love it.
I
I love
even did the art on the front.
I
I'm proud of it, okay? I'm proud.
you did that?
I did the art. I made the cover
Girl,
and everything. I picked the font. I sat down and poured my heart into
I
the
feel it.
journal.
Like I really do. That's amazing.
Thank
So what
you.
inspired like your journal? Like what I remember when you posted that you did it, I was like, oh, I was so excited. Like how so like what inspired it? Like what made you want to do this for like your community and stuff?
Mm. So journaling was a huge part of just the beginning stages of my womb
Okay.
journey. A little bit about my story. Was diagnosed. Well, I had painful wounds from like the first one, and yeah, so my introduction into just moon time. was it was painful, like extremely painful, back pain, and it really just put a damper on my social life, on my school life. I missed my end of course test. I missed my graduation test. Had to retake that. In college, I was so excited to see Erica Badu. I missed her too. Like it really just
Oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah. When it came, it just stopped everything. My whole life stopped.
Yeah.
And then, and I had been doing pretty much from child, like from maybe teenage years, a lot of computer searching. I'm like, what is this? Something is
Yeah.
wrong. This is not normal.
Oh.
And endometriosis would come up,
Okay.
but I think I might have dismissed it, or I just didn't know enough.
Someone said it's
Uh,
too.
so oh, cheerleading camp. Yes, and then yep, I missed cheer camp.
Oh
I
my
did.
God.
Look, oh yeah, that's my aunt.
Hey,
Hey, auntie.
I know.
Yes. So I went all the way down to like hours away from home to go to cheer camp. And my moon started and I missed the entire cheer camp. My mom had to come get me and bring me home. Like that's how bad it was. I ended up spending my entire like day in a dorm room while all of my cheerleading sisters went to camp. It really just yeah, played a damper on my life for real.
Nice. A hurry duty.
Greetings, greetings. And later on, I finally went to I did go to the doctor as a child, and they never gave us a diagnosis. They just said, take birth
Oh,
control. This is going to help
oh God,
regulate
I
it.
hate that. I hate that
Yeah.
that's like the way to solve painful periods.
Mm-hmm. So they never did any tests. They just said, this is the solution. Here you are. So I just continued from middle school up until college. That was the solution. I just refilled my prescription. This one gives you acne, try a new one. This one gives you hot flashes. We're gonna put you on a new one. It
Goodness.
was that type of situation.
So I
Yeah. And
there a time that you came off of the birth control and then
I did. I decided not to take it anymore. That was actually the time when I went to the doctor and she basically said, after we did the test and she did the rundown of all my symptoms. She was like, yeah, it sounds like you have endometriosis.
wow.
And that's when they gave me all the paperwork about what endometriosis was. And then they told me that I might not be able to have children. And at the time, I wasn't ready to have children then, but that was still just kind of frightening. Like, well, when I'm ready to have children, I might not be able to,
Yeah.
you know. So I decided actually not to take the birth control anymore. I started to research birth control and the effects of it. And then I realized how it contributed to a lot of my, like I said, hot flashes. I was having hot flashes at 16.
Oh my
I was going through, I was actually diagnosed with depression. I went to the doctor at one point in my high school journey. It played a huge role on my moods, and I didn't even know.
yeah.
I didn't know what was going on with me.
Wow.
So yeah, I decided not to go back on. I adopted a plant-based diet, not even for that reason. Just my uncle inspired me. He was plant-based, and so I decided to go on a plant-based diet for my health. And then, like later on down the line, I ended up getting pregnant with twins.
Yay.
Yeah, so and I had the boys. But then once my moon came back, it was like, oh, you still got a problem, girl,
Vengeance. Oh
Yeah, it
no.
came back with a vengeance. So it's like you're still not done with this journey.
There's more.
And there's more. And so at this point, as I was moving through my pregnancy, this is kind of when I started to study a more holistic
Okay.
lifestyle, because I had been plant-based. So now I'm learning about Dr.
Yeah.
Sebi and I'm learning about herbs. And
Mm-hmm.
so by the time this comes along, I'm like, okay, I have a few more tools.
Wow.
But I had been studying Reiki, and before I was pregnant, I was doing yoga and I was learning about chakras. And so I told myself, I was like, okay, if everything starts with energy, like if everything is
Uh,
energetic, then I can heal this. I know that I
you
can.
had that mindset to just, I'm gonna solve this problem.
hmm Yeah, it was like because then it started to affect my life with my family.
Right.
It started, now I'm in pain, I'm in
Have the
bed,
children.
I can't, I have my children. It's hard for me to take care of my children. Their father's having to leave work to care for me. It was just,
Oh yeah,
you know,
hard. Yeah.
it started to take over my life in that way again. And so I told myself, I was like, I can do this. I can heal my wound. And I decided to just really cold turkey. Sometimes I can be like that. Like when I'm serious about something, I said, I'm gonna stop eating. I'm juicing for 28 days and I'm just I know that there's a solution.
Yeah.
And then right around that time is when like randomly Queen Afua came into my life. She started popping up on my YouTube feed and on my Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and she started talking about the importance of talking to your womb.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, that's where we're gonna start. I'm gonna talk to my womb. And so I started journaling to my womb. I started meditating with my hands on my womb.
Yeah.
And I made it a practice of just connecting with my womb, even if I'm in the car on a car ride. I just put my hands on my womb. How you feeling? And a huge part of that was journaling. I journaled a lot and a lot came up. A lot came up. Like things I had forgotten about, even childhood things, just from that
Okay.
experience. So journaling with my womb and talking to my womb opened the doors for my entire spiritual journey, to be honest with you.
Hmm. Now I
Like,
can. Like it all makes sense now. That's such a wonderful story. I love it.
thank you. But yeah, so I had a time, was it last year, where I kind of went through a dark night of the soul. Like I lost my brother, and there was just a lot going on in my life before then, and that was just kind of like the last thing before I just shut down. And but what it was for me was a reset because it brought me back to like the basics. I had time to really reflect on my entire
Okay.
journey and then see where I
Mm.
started. And long story short, I ended up going on this beautiful retreat. I'm gonna shout out Parthenia Myers, Tina Myers. I went to her retreat, and there was basically a belly dance instructor there,
What?
who because that was also a huge part of my journey too. When I started to fast, my love for belly dancing came back to me as well.
Nice.
So when this belly dancer opened up her class for us, she started off with the Sacred Woman song, Queen of Fua, and she brought me back to how this all began, the beginning of my womb journey.
Okay.
How Queen of Fua and Sacred Woman, her just hearing her talk and interview about the importance of speaking to your womb really opened up this door for me for
Right.
my gifts, for my intuition, for my connection with my ancestors. It literally started from connecting with my womb.
Wow.
And when I came back from the retreat, that was kind of like my lift out of the, I'll call it deep rest, depression, deep rest
Yeah.
that I went through. And the first thing that I wanted to create was this journal because I was reminded of that's how I got here.
Wow.
And I wanted to create that experience for
I
others.
love that. I love
So
that.
that's how this journey was born. That's why it's literally called From Darkness to Light as well, because it was literally a journey from darkness into light.
Oh my.
And I and it reflected how that's how we get here from darkness within the womb to light,
Yes.
the journey through the womb. So
Oh.
yes.
Now you gotta.
Thank you for listening.
You have to drop me the link of how to get the book, the journal, because I told you we going through it over here with the grief.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yes.
you know. might be able to like write, and just as you move through what you needed to move through, maybe I can also use it to move through what I need to move through as well.
Mm-hmm. Ashe. Okay.
I hope
Let
we
me
get
see.
in,
I'm gonna actually try to drop it in the chat, but then I'm also gonna, if we can drop it somewhere else, that's cool.
just in case.
Um, yeah, let's just see.
I think you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Shah said, and I'll read the comments while you're doing that. Shah said, Shah the realtor, New York says, I'm not sure what if you spoke on it already, but holistic. How would you suggest dealing with pain during that time of the month from a
So,
holistic?
hi,
I know
Shad.
Shah,
Okay.
a very good friend of mine. We go way,
Okay.
way, way, way back.
So actually, I mean, we did touch on it, but we touched more on, I think,
Cold
how
wound.
to kind of prevent that pain, you know, what we can be doing throughout before we get to that time of the month. We spoke on in this, just to recap, we spoke on cold wound, and how that manifests and also manifests through pain and cramps. But holistically, if you're already moving through pain, I would suggest what would you say, like the warm, what hot water
That's
bottle or heating
the
pad?
thing, and maybe Shawanda, you can try. I don't know if you've tried with her already. She said her daughter has really, really bad pain. She's on
Mm,
and wants to stop because it's not helping. Yeah, birth control is just something that they give people as kind of like a quick fix, but it doesn't actually solve.
mm-hmm.
I know for a fact she already switched her daughter over to natural organic pads and natural organic pads and things like that. But you can try essential oils with the heating pad, and also
That's true.
there's different teas that you can take. There's I know some people speak against red leaf tea, but actually
Really?
I actually
They speak against red
yeah, a
leaf?
lot of people were like, that don't work, but it works for me. It's everybody's
Right.
different, and just a matter of trying things. And also um she said Ebony also spoke about a castor oil kind of like massaging the womb and stuff like that. Also, it's very important also to just take her to the doctor and get second opinions, because some of these OBGYNs, I mean, really they'll just tell you like birth control, but really get a
Right.
doctor to really look in depth and see if there's something else going on, if there's something else happening in the womb space, such as fibroids, cysts, something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something going on with the fallopian tubes. Hi, Makeup by Jaylene. um there could
And
be,
that castor oil
yeah.
works. It works. They typically say they don't really recommend you use it during
Okay,
the moon time, but I do,
you
and
do.
it helps
Okay,
me. Yeah, because if you're already experiencing, typically it's because you're already, bleeding, and it's supposed to help with circulation, so they don't want to bring too much circulation.
too much.
But I feel like if you're already having an issue with cold womb, then it would be helpful, and it has been
Yeah,
helpful for me.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm speaking to, I stopped, in my holistic journey, I stopped taking pain medicine before I actually was able to remedy the pain. So I had to find different ways to manage my pain holistically.
Okay.
And my pain was like level 9, passing out, can't really
Uh,
see straight, like
During.
really purging because of my pain
Okay.
during.
Wow.
But the castor oil helped, the heating pads
Yeah.
helped, keeping my feet warm helped,
Okay.
drinking the teas.
Right.
Acupuncture was very helpful. I
Acupuncture.
I don't really hear
Ah,
people speak to that much. Acupuncture saved my life
maybe,
many times.
maybe acupuncture, but I don't know how. I know her daughter. I don't know how she'll feel about acupuncture, but maybe you never.
But when you in pain, because I didn't know how I felt about acupuncture, but when you already struggling, you like just do something.
So
Needles don't feel like
when
anything. So
acupuncture, where did they put the needles? Did they put it? on your oh she likes it. Okay. Where do
Okay.
like where would they put the
I
needles at?
don't know how I keep doing this. I'm gonna drop some more. When you see me dropping hearts too, it's because like I don't know how else to get this thing off my screen, but it goes away when I do that. Like when I drop some
Oh, you
emojis.
mean like the words at the bottom, right? Like the
Yeah,
comment.
they get stuck,
Yeah,
and then I can't figure out how to move them.
yeah. Yeah, do the emojis.
So acupuncture, where do they typically? She'll put it. Of course, there are different meridian systems that run to different organs within the body,
Hmm.
and depending on what what you're complaining about or what's going on, because a lot of the times is we didn't really discuss this because we talked about cold womb, but sometimes we have congestion in like other organs, so we might have some liver things going on that are affecting the way that we're filtering our
Oh
hormones,
wow.
which then can impact our
Right,
moon times, our reproductive system.
right.
So typically, when I would go to the acupuncturist, we would have to work on, I know, my liver and my spleen. And even now, as I'm doing my womb massages and just knowing where these different organs are located, and I'm able to even feel now where I'm having to do a little bit more work on my
Okay.
spleen
Okay.
area.
Hmm.
But they would put typically a needle
Okay.
here.
Okay.
They might put some in my wrist. She would put some somewhere near my arm here. And there are a lot of different points by the ankles.
Yep.
Oh, that's also helpful. So I think it's both the left and right, but I'm gonna say the right because that's typically where I go.
Yeah.
And then also let me know, like, if whenever you want to end this live, I don't know what your time looks like as well. So I just hope we're not going too long for your night.
You know, my daughter keeps looking side eyeing me because she has the baby, the 10-year-old.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So,
But yeah,
okay,
I I I want to learn so much more about this, definitely. But yeah.
yeah. But they will put the needles also near my ankles.
Hmm.
But there's also an acupressure point. If you take your
Okay.
4 fingers and put your fingers on the inside of your
Okay.
ankle, so four fingers with your index finger touching your
Okay.
ankle. So where that third finger is, your ring finger and your pinky, if you press there along that area, that's the acupressure point. There's a meridian pathway that runs basically to your reproductive system.
Okay.
And if you press on that point long enough and breathe, it can help to reduce pain as well.
Wow. So yeah, Sean, definitely look into maybe some acupuncturists and see if like that's
Yes.
help with. And then, like I said, the essential oils, just using that with heat and see, like, I think it's just gonna take time. And also the birth
Hmm.
control, if she's gonna come off of it, of course, the pain's probably gonna come back like intensely. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna
And
definitely
now she has to detox from
exactly.
the synthetic hormones that have been put in her body as well. So that's a whole thing as
I'm
well.
definitely gonna do some more research for you, and I'll let you know what I find out. But yeah, thank you.
Yes. And then can I offer one more thing because
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
Yes.
Um, breath.
Okay.
Breath
Breathe.
was very helpful for me in managing my pain. I honestly think that was one of the most helpful things out of the medication, or not even medication, but the herbs, and being able to control my breath during that time. I would be able to bring my pain down from a 9 to a 4 or to a 3, where I'm able to get some rest.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of different meditations on YouTube, and I would type in meditations for pain
Okay.
relief, and they were actually really helpful. When nothing else felt like it was working, I would listen to those meditations, and they would really just guide me through breath and show me how to release the pain. And of course, they teach you that during if you take a birthing class,
Literally,
right?
when you're in labor, what are you
Hmm.
doing? Yeah, you're like
It's
breathing
the same thing.
in, so it must definitely work. and it helped me. I specifically, I hum a lot when I'm in labor. I have like this
Mm,
is and why I do it. I don't even tell myself to do it. I just do it. But it's something about the maybe like the ringing that the hum.
mm-hmm.
I don't know what the science is behind it, but I know when I'm in labor, I'm a hum.
I love that.
Yes, I
So
don't.
like either the frequency, the
It's the
vibration.
vibration, like it's ringing in my whole face, and it's like that's how I deal with pain. Even like the whole time I was in labor, I was just mm,
Mm,
like that. Yeah, so that helps me with pain. But
that's that's that wisdom. That's that internal wisdom.
yeah, but where does that's so amazing that it's just natural. Like it just comes like
Mm-hmm.
a natural thing. I don't know why I do it. It literally just do it automatic. My body just does it. It's so amazing, actually.
Wow, that is amazing.
All right, we have to do this again, Ebony. We have to
Absolutely.
again. Like we have to make
I would love to. I honestly would love to. I'd be honored to.
yeah about the things, all of the things.
Like we used to
Oh my
do. Look like we used to do.
God,
Yeah, this
Clubhouse.
is what we used to do. This is how we met. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. We'll definitely do this again. Maybe we'll come up with something else that we can talk about. I love this conversation. I'm grabbing my castor oil as soon as I turn this off. I'm gonna put it
Yes.
in, and I have my ginger tea over there. So that's going on right.
Ready.
So
Hmm.
much for everything. Thank you so much for sharing your story with me. Maybe next time I'll share with you my story. It's a little bit different than yours. As
I would love to hear your story.
they're like, oh, how does it feel to be God's favorite? Because I have no pain during periods. Zero. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I would love to hear your story. I really would.
Zero. Zero. And um,
I'm always fascinated when I hear that.
it's crazy. And then all the research that I've been doing, that's how it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to have intense pain periods.
Mhm.
But what I realized is different from me and a lot of other people is I was allergic to pads growing up.
Mm.
I used everything but pads. And then when I became an adult, like around 19 or so, I switched to a menstrual cup. So I really haven't had close proximity to pads or anything like that. So I always
Mhm.
could that have affected me? Could that have affected me, you know, even not having pain? I don't know. I wish I knew because everyone's like,
Right.
how? No pain. No pain. Yeah.
It
It's
just
just
comes and
like
you're like,
it's
hello.
just like it just comes for 3 days and then it's gone and it doesn't affect my anything. So yeah, I'm definitely one of the lucky ones. But as I started this brand, Bamblish, I realized that it's a it's a high percentage of us who really suffer with periods, and I'm starting to learn like everybody's stories who share them with me, and I'm
Mhm.
shocked. I'm so shocked, and even now, my daughter, my college daughter, she has
Mhm.
debilitating, kind of like you. Your auntie
Ah.
said she has
Okay.
no pain either.
Wow.
Auntie April,
Yeah.
how does it feel to be God's favorite?
Really?
But yeah, yeah, there's not a lot of us that don't suffer pain that are
Mhm.
like and April. Um, a lot of people suffer with really intense pain. So I would love to touch in that. Maybe next time. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we can
Okay.
get into. Thank you, Ebony, again, so much for joining us.
Thank you. So y'all stay tuned for the part two. It's coming
maybe
soon.
maybe I'll wear makeup next time because I want to be cute next to Ebony.
And then maybe y'all won't wear makeup.
And either
Who knows?
we
Stay tuned.
you. Thank you, Botanica. Oh, Shay Halstead. That's my sister. Hey, sissy. You made it.
Thank y'all for
But
joining
we're literally
in.
ending it. Bye, everybody.